What's up, my beautiful, diverse American people? First of all, I want to send my love to everyone out there who's going through this blizzard. This is life threatening situations out there, and my heart especially goes out to those brave patriots out there in Minnesota that, despite the weather and the abuses going on, are out there protecting and fighting for freedom and fighting for um, kindness and humanity and doing things the right way. And my heart goes out to another American family who has faced ignorance and hatred firsthand, paid the ultimate sacrifice for protecting Americans, for being a good human being against the vile evil that is being unleashed on the American people through what I want you guys to clearly see: the narcissism that fuels everything that they do. Because, first of all, they can't do anything wrong. Finally, they admit that, oh, mistakes could have been made. But, the narcissist mindset is that it didn't happen. And if it did, it wasn't that bad. And if it was, it's not that big a deal. And if it is, I don't believe it's my fault. And if it was, it didn't mean it. I didn't mean it. And if it did, you made me do it. That is the narcissism that we're seeing. Because anybody who has interacted, who has had a narcissist in their life in any way, you know that regardless of what they do, they are only going to respond to your reaction. That's what the narcissists do. And that's what you're seeing here. You're seeing that they are reacting, not that they're going in and creating violence and bringing in the hatred and ignorance and violence into these communities. They're not seeing that they're bringing it in. They're looking at Americans' reactions, at white America's reaction to what they're doing. Because this is yet another white American that they are killing, allegedly, those that they are doing this for. Because you see, if you're not just totally convinced that these are just bad people, just vile people, the one thing that the founding fathers didn't account for, they didn't expect vile, evil people to take control of their nation built on freedom. That wasn't something that they really ever accounted for. And here's another very important psalm. In his arrogance, the wicked man hunts down the weak who are caught in the schemes he devises. He boasts about the cravings of his heart. He blessed the greedy and reviles the Lord. In his pride, the wicked man does not seek him. In all his thoughts, there is no room for God. His ways are always prosperous. Your laws are rejected by him. He sneers at all his enemies. He says to himself, nothing will ever shake me. He swears no one will ever do me harm. His mouth is full of lies, and threats. Trouble and evil are under his tongue. Psalm 10, 2-7. And in one of those books that has become the number one, I think, banned book across the country, in John Steinbeck's The Grapes of Wrath, there is a quote, a short passage from chapter 25. There is a crime here that goes beyond denunciation. There's a sorrow here that weeping cannot symbolize. There is a failure here that topples all our successes. The fertile earth, the straight tree rows, the sturdy trunks, and the ripe fruit, and the children dying of hunger, must die because a profit cannot be taken from an orange. And coroners must fill the certificates, died of malnutrition, because the food must rot if not sold for profit. And in the eyes of the hungry, there is a growing wrath. In the soul of the people, the grapes of wrath are filling and growing heavy for the vintage. Narcissistic and toxic people will attempt to destroy anyone who attempts to make them see reality, even if that person's intentions are noble. Remember, narcissists will protect their delusional world at all costs. They would rather destroy their relationship, even their own family, before working on themselves, admitting fault, or taking accountability. Let that sink in for a moment, because that is exactly what drives this criminal syndicate regime. There is no love. There is only profits. When they say we are taking in so much money, he don't mean you. He means them. And as much as I hate being right again, I said that there would be more American dying. There would be more Americans murdered by these rogue, racist criminals that they've deputized and unleashed on communities, given immunity. So you have inbred, ignorant morons who have been told they have immunity to act as they see fit. And like in the movie 1984, they're telling you not to believe your eyes, to believe what they're telling you. And I hate to say this, because everything I've said so far comes true. And I hate to say it, but it's going to happen. There will be a line that gets shot, that gets killed. A line of protesters will be murdered, will be gunned down by these rogue, criminal, racist, unleashed on American communities. Because these are not law enforcement. Every law enforcement officer should be outraged and should be screaming at the top of their lungs every time they refer to these criminals as law enforcement. They are not law enforcement. So once again, we saw another American, another white American murdered. There's no other. 11 shots. After he was already disarmed, because the video clearly shows the criminal who pulled his legal firearm from his waistband and took it off and backed up away from it. After is when they shot him 11 times. That is cowardice. That is not training, unless you're being trained to murder. If their training is to murder, then he followed his training. Like Christie says. If that's their training, they're trained to murder. Enough of this bullshit. When will Congress show some fucking cojones? And that's why I say it can't happen. It cannot happen from within DC to fix this. They're all complicit. They're all in the shit. Smell of shit, splattered by shit, involved in the shit, looking the other way on the shit, smelling the shit, inhaling the shit, loving the shit, but they're all in it. And yes, there are good politicians from both sides trying to fix this, but they're not going to be able to do it. They're not going to be able to do it because they're all complicit. They're all drawing from the same resources. So it needs to be one of us, a regular American, someone who's not connected to the monopolies, not connected to the preachers, to the churches, to the anything, not connected to the politics, not connected to industry, just connected to the people, to the American people, whose sole responsibility is to love the American people and to make their lives better. That's what a president's sole job is. Not to be your daddy, not to tell you who to love, not to tell you who's legal and who's not legal, not to remove protections from Americans, from people who have come into this country the right way, remove their protections and now call them criminals. So you can unleash these beta boy bitch, racist, deputized criminals onto American streets of the people who oppose them politically. This is the equivalent of Vladimir Putin poisoning his opponents. They are poisoning the states that his opponents come from. If Kamala had been a governor, this would be happening in her state. They tried it, but Gavin Newsom has cojones and shut it down. So he went to the next place. And unfortunately, there was a white woman who involved a bunch of Somalis in a crime to defraud the government, and they've taken advantage of that because the bottom line is that it was a white woman who got all the Somalis involved, whichever ones they get in. They don't know this country. They were told by this woman, oh, no, this is right, we're doing it. I guarantee you. But they're not going after the white woman who did it. They're going after the Somalis, the minorities, because they're the easy target. It's a common playbook. There's nothing creative. There's nothing innovative. There's nothing new to what this is. This is good old-fashioned fascism with an American twist. That's all it is. So it's up to one of us. I don't know when I'll be able to post this because my Wi-Fi's been out for a few days. I don't know if it's because of the weather or if it's an isolated incident, but you know, a few little things that don't quite line up. But I'm not going to worry about it. I'll post it when I can. But I love you. I love every single one of you. And it's time for us to say that this is not the Founding Fathers' vision of a nation built on freedom. They keep saying, well, Obama deported 3 million. Yeah, and do you remember any of this ever happening when Obama was in office? Do you remember any of this happening when any president was in office? No, because they were men. They were men, not beta boy bitches. That's the difference. These are cowards. These are insecure, cowardly little beta boy bitches who have to go out in numbers. To arrest one person, they gotta send 11. Cowards, heavily armed. To arrest one undocumented person who became undocumented when they removed their protections. So they fabricated, they created the problem, they created the crime, and now they go after the crime to terrorize the communities. Because the only domestic terrorism is what they are doing. They are the domestic terrorists. And based on their definition, every American today who opposes the criminal syndicate regime is a domestic terrorist. Even though we are saying, we don't want violence. Violence is the ignorant way out. That's what idiots do. That's what you're doing, using violence. Because you're morons. So, narcissism. It's all narcissism. Ignorance and hatred driven by greed and narcissism. So we know better. We know better. And it's time to end that stupid shit and return our nation to the Founding Fathers' vision of a nation built on freedom. I love you. I love you. I love every single one of you. So believe truth, not what they're telling you. This is obviously not a regime that is for the people or by the people. This is for them, by them, based on beta boy bitch ignorance and hatred and racism and stupid shit. Just the fact, and shows that these are bad, bad, bad people. They're removing from national parks tributes and memories and remembrances and historical facts about slavery, about our histories. That's bad people. If you want to cover up history and say it didn't happen, it's because you're guilty. So enough of these beta boy bitches who fell ass backwards into wealth, declared themselves geniuses, and you all motherfucking dumbasses believed it. Just because they could buy shit up. Enough. Enough. We the people. I love you. Crazy. I'm George Fernando. I want to be president. Not a billionaire, not a millionaire, not a politician, not a Democrat, not a Republican, not a libertarian. Basically a free agent. Whoever wants to get behind my message of love and intelligence and returning our nation to the Founding Fathers' vision of a nation built on freedom so that all Americans live with that opportunity, then let's go outside of the shit that created all of this. Because one way or another, they're both complicit. Both sides. So it's time for one of us to take the helm and make America that the Founding Fathers envisioned when they said, we the people, and put it bigger, first. Because they could have wrote it a different way. They were writers. They could have written, in order to form a more perfect union, we the people. They didn't write it that way. They wrote, we the people, in order to form a more perfect union. They put it first. Wasn't a coincidence. Wasn't a sentence starter, because they could have put, in order to, make that the bigger, eye-catching part of the document. Wasn't the reason for it at all. They put we the people bigger because they knew that the power and strength of their nation moving forward and overcoming all threats, foreign and domestic, was in we the people. That's why they fear we the people so much. That we see that rainbow mafia out there, led by white America, that does not want any of this, that these beta boy bitches, these fascist beta boy bitches are trying to unload on a nation built on freedom. We ain't gonna have it. We ain't gonna have it. So keep up the protesting. Listen, man, I'm sorry, and I'm sorry to say this, and I'll say it again, but more Americans will die. and more white Americans will die. Sad, and I'm so sorry. And I'm so grateful to you guys because you do not need to be out there. They're not coming for you. They're coming for people who look like me, even though I was born in this country, served this country. My father served this country in the U.S. Army and disappeared. But the Supreme Court, the cowards, and the beta boy bitches that they've stuffed into that court have said that it's okay to hunt human beings based on skin color and languages spoken. So yo puedo hablar en un idioma que a mí me sale de los cojones porque soy americano. Y mi libertad me da, la libertad me da el derecho de hablar en el idioma que me sale de los cojones. And I said that my freedom, because I am a free-born American, I can speak in whatever fucking language I want. And I don't give a fuck what beta boy bitch doesn't like it. That's why with one of my first executive orders, I'm going to have free translators for every American with 100 languages pre-programmed in it. So you dumb fucks don't have to say, hey, I didn't understand. Get him out of the country. I didn't understand what you're saying. Because you're fucking morons. So I'm going to solve that problem day one. We the people. God bless you. Crazy and impossible. Share it, speak a bit. Oligarchy isn't going to do it. They won't even let me use promote because they see me as such a threat. So it's up to you guys to share, to like, to hit the little buttons, to do whatever it is that you all need to do. Because I'm just a regular American. I'm not an influencer. I'm not here for likes. I'm not here to promote, to make money. These videos are not monetized in any way. They'll be monetized when we create a movement to take our country back to the Founding Fathers' vision of that nation they wanted, built on freedom, under freedom for you to live your life how you choose. Not how you're being dictated it. So that's what we need. So do your thing, America. We've reached, my words have reached well over 2 million people by now. Without any budget, without any funding, without any promoting, just you guys. Let's do this. Let's find that diamond in the rough that we need. Doesn't have to be me. I've said it. I still think the best president would be a single mom who raised 3 kids on her own despite her idiot husband, and those children are all successes. That's leadership. That's overcoming. And that's what we need. Because we're going to have to overcome. We're going to have to rebuild. But the silver lining is that we get to do it right. We get to do it for us, for we the people, not for a handful of people. God bless you. Crazy and impossible. Period. The truth comes out. This is not the Founding Fathers' vision of a nation built on freedom. This is not what Antifa fought fascism for when we came to the rescue of Europe when you had your fascist problem. We have one now. We have one now. So we need a rainbow mafia of every color, because I love everybody. I love every American. I don't care what color your skin is. I don't even care that you're a moron motherfucking ass licker, because you've been weaponized. It's been done to you. It's not coming from you. Your nature is to be a good, loving human being. Humans are born loving. We are not born hateful. All those things are learned, are imprinted on you, are passed on generation to generation. And because we did not deal with ignorance and hatred, it festered, and it festered, and it festered. And like the boil always does, it splurted all over us.